What's going on, everyone? DarkScheme here, and today I have some Halo Wars 2 gameplay for you all, and this is the open beta that is live now on Xbox One. So if you want to play it, that is available to you all from June 13th today until the 20th, and it was announced today at Microsoft's press conference, so that is pretty impressive to have an open beta come out the same day as a conference as big as E3's. So Halo Wars 2 will be coming out February 21st, 2017, so we still have a ways away from Halo Wars 2's official launch. And it isn't new news, but this game will be coming on Xbox One and Windows 10. Although the big thing about this is that Microsoft, in their press conference, announced that when you purchase an Xbox One game, you will also be guaranteed a free copy of it on Windows 10 for selective titles. So Halo Wars 2, for example, if I buy it on Xbox One, it'll also give me a copy on Windows 10. So I'm actually really excited to be able to play Halo Wars 2 on PC. Even though Halo Wars was made for the console and it was kind of made to play on a controller, I can't help but play this game on a keyboard and mouse because that's kind of where RTSs grew up on. So it feels a little bit more natural for me to play on there. But first things first, this is pretty much my first impressions, and this is actually my first match. So as you can see, I'm kind of playing and kind of trying to learn things. That's definitely one thing that I want to talk about in my constructive criticism. So let's kind of get into it. The game mode I am playing right now is the 2v2 domination game mode. I think that's the only game mode live at the moment. So it is you and another player on your team versus 2 other players. So it is only online, it is only head to head. And at the beginning of the match, you pick a commander, and depending on what commander you pick will depend on what units you will play. So let's say you want to play the brutes, then you would want to pick Atriox, which is the brute commander, and each commander actually has different abilities as well, not just controlling a certain type of race. For example, the commander abilities are similar to that of the first Halo Wars. So for example, Captain Cutter controls the UNSC, and he has a healing regeneration field that he can use at any point within the game. So it is interesting to have that type of ability. And obviously this isn't just head to head. You don't just fight for the base, you actually have an objective that you need to go for. So I feel like this objective game mode is making the game a little bit more complex, and that can actually be a good thing and a bad thing. If it's too complex, then you can definitely have it where there's just too much to do in the game, and when you don't have a clear choice and you aren't really making a decision, then it can be indecisive and not fun. But I have to say, as this was my first match, I think it was fun, but at the same time, there was just so much there to learn about the game that I feel like I didn't properly get that Halo Wars experience. I think one thing that I would have liked from this open beta is some sort of interactive tutorial mode. The only tutorial mode that we did get was just a video kind of showing you what to do. Making it interactive would have been a little bit better, and even having the tutorial kind of give you freedom to build stuff, make stuff, and kind of really just learn and read about all the different types of units that you have would have been great. I mean, even having a player versus AI mode would have been great. There isn't anything of that, so you kind of just have to jump in, play head to head, and I feel like having a partner helps out, but at the same time, it can also be a crutch. One of the things that I did in this game is I was kind of just looking at my units, making stuff, and then I saw my teammate kind of going for the objectives, so I thought to myself, oh crap, I should probably be playing the game and sending my units out and doing stuff. So I kind of just started making my units and starting to send stuff out, and I didn't really get as much of the information for all the different types of units and what they do and all that good stuff. So I feel like I need to play this game a little bit more, and that is definitely one gripe that I have. No interactive tutorial mode, no player versus AI mode. But it is an open beta that is being made the same day that they had their E3 press conference, so that is impressive, and maybe one of the reasons why they couldn't get this game mode into the open beta. And I think the last thing I will say about the controls is that it feels very similar to the first Halo Wars. So if you have played and experienced Halo Wars and you jump right into it, it's going to be very similar, but keep in mind that there are a lot of differences with the units, how they play out, and definitely those bases and how you interact with them as well is different. I think the last thing that I will say is that the controls on the controller are great, but at certain times feels a little funny. One of the things that I kind of found a little off for me personally is kind of moving around the map. For me, it is a little too slow. You kind of have to drag your cursor from one side of the map to the other. And sure, there is that ability to snap to your different units. So you can snap directly to your base instantly. You can snap to your units who are out in the distance. But I also feel like at the beginning of a match where you have to kind of drag where you want to go and then pick it for your units, you kind of need a little bit more of an easier movement. Like I said, as it is in the open beta at the moment, and it is a very early version of the game, I can't imagine they wouldn't be looking into all this feedback. But that is pretty much it for me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of the Halo Wars 2 gameplay that I have, give you a little glimpse. And if you have an Xbox One, feel free to play this game, jump into it. Like I said, it's open beta, it's free for you to try out. And one tip that I would definitely give you is don't be afraid to lose the very first match. It's your first match, you're gonna need to learn how to play the units, you're gonna need to learn to take all that information in. So definitely get into it. And if you have a friend that you want to play with, I would say definitely play with them so you can kind of be on the same page, being able to play as a team, and overall kind of just experiencing Halo Wars 2 for the first time together. And if you played the Halo Wars 2 open beta already, how do you feel about it? Do you like it? How is it compared to the very first Halo Wars? Let me know. And as always, I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.